Welcome back, everyone. Nick and Lex here. Thank you so much for joining me tonight to this new episode of Music with Nick. I'm super excited about these three songs I'm gonna listen to right now. Thanks to you, Great Scott, for sponsoring this marathon. This is really a piece of music that I've heard in various metal outfits, I guess. So first time was Symphony X, the song The Planets, Mars, the Bringer of War. There's a little section of that in a Symphony X song called The Divine Wings of Tragedy. So if you want to listen to that, that's 20 minutes long, but it has the intro of those chords of Gustav Holst that we're going to listen to right now. I've never heard Emerson, and Powell doing that version. The Gustav Holst version, I don't know if I've heard all 7 minutes of it, but I do know the chords and how they begin. And that's why I'm super excited. We're going to do 3 takes of this. And the other one I just heard tonight by this fantastic band that you might know, Trans-Siberian Orchestra, and that was in the song The Mountain, where these chords were used as well. So it's super cool. I'm super happy to do this literally right after. So I wanted to say, of course, again, Great Scott, thank you so much for sponsoring the marathon. Thanks everybody for being here. You know, if you like the channel, give it a like, maybe subscribe if you find something of worth or entertaining. So I'm going to do 3 songs, around 24 minutes of music. So first we're going to do Gustav Holst, with the Berliner Philharmoniker, and this is going to be Herbert von Karajan, who's going to be the conductor. Wonderful. The Planets, Opus 32, and this is Mars, the Bringer of War. So I am a bit familiar. I have never really listened to the entire thing, but I can't wait. This is gonna send chills down my spine, I'm sure. And then Emerson, Lake and Powell, that we just did a reaction, Alexia and I. If you want to check that out, it's on the channel if you type it in. But this is also going to be Mars, the Bringer of War, with Keith Emerson, along the keyboard. So I'm very surprised how that's going to sound like. And then Isao Tomita, which of course I know about, and he has his interpretations of Clair de Lune and Canon and D, but he's going to do his version of Mars, and it's called The Planets. So that is 11 minutes. So I'm just yeah, I'm in a good place right now, because this is the stuff that I listen to in my spare time, this kind of music. All right. So, well, again, thank you so much everybody for being here. I hope you enjoy. I don't think I'm going to be pausing that much, because it is instrumental classical music, and I don't know, but you're going to see on my face what I I don't know. Maybe I will pause. I don't know. So let's just dive into it and have some fun, and I hope you all enjoy. So here we go with the original Gustav Holst, the man who also inspired, I'm sure, I read some stuff that he inspired, George Lucas, but John Williams, of course, when he was writing Star Wars, the whole, the planets must have been very inspirational for him, because there's a lot of stuff when you hear the Imperial March and stuff, music in Star Wars overall is very run dun 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 dun, like what we're gonna listen to right now. But dun 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 dun, the Imperial March. It's just that intensity, in the music. But yeah, Gustav Holst must have also inspired Bernard Herrmann, who inspired also John Williams. Bernard Herrmann has also this very, epic sounding, scores in his Hitchcock movies and Brian De Palma and all that good stuff. So just that it's a part of, these composers inspiring film music and scores is just wonderful. I'm such a huge fan of that. So let's give it up for Gustav Holst. And this is amazing that it was in recorded in Berlin, Germany, and Herbert von Karajan. I've heard a bunch of stuff from him. My mom had like a huge collection. So here we go. Have fun, all right? Sounds literally like Star Wars. You can literally hear little hints of Star Wars there, of course, that John Williams took. Remember that scene when the Millennium Falcon is being pulled into the Death Star and they can't help, they can't do anything because it's a tractor beam. And they have to hide in the floor. It's so cool. This is where I think John Williams got very inspired, and it has that sound like from an alien world. It's like Mars. I love it. So I think I've heard this before the first, I think, 2 minutes, because since I was so intrigued that I don't know how I looked it up, but I think I was listening to Symphony X and I was like, this sounds so awesome. Where did they take the inspiration? And then it says, oh, Michael Romeo, the guitar player of Symphony X, took this from a certain Gustav Holst. And I was like, who's that? And I heard it because it's with distortion in that song, right? The Vine Wings of Tragedy. So I think I listened to this one time in the car, like very shortly, but I didn't have time for the entire 8 minutes. But here we go, man. This is so good. It's just way ahead of their time. This is about 100 years before, John Williams. So gotta give it to him. Wonderful. There's a little bit of also Return of the Jedi and that the Ewoks, remember? Or the Sand People, you know. So to be correct here, so this was first performed on almost one day before my birthday, but in 1918. So yeah, definitely not entirely like 100 years before, but yeah, Star Wars came out. I think the music was composed in 76, so yeah, at least, you know, almost 60 years. Wonderful. Just so good. I would I would almost love to do the entire album, you know, the planets. But I have to get Alexia into it as well. So let's continue. Wow. That last part reminded me of like when they fly in episode 4. They fly away. I mean, Luke has like shot his torpedoes into the hatch, and then you hear dun 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 dun, and then the Death Star, blows up into millions of pieces. I'm sure also like John Williams was actively listening to this music while composing Star Wars. It's just so fitting. It's so perfect. It's a masterpiece. Okay, so now we're gonna listen to the same composition by Emerson, Lake, and Powell. I mean, that's gonna be trippy, because it's on, yeah, on the synthesizer, and or a Moog, or and bass and drums. So I have no idea what this is gonna sound like, but I'm really intrigued. But just this piece is just so powerful. I mean, if you like, if I had the chance to do it all over again, learn an instrument, I would still go with the guitar, but maybe a second one. If you would tell me, if you learn this instrument, I mean, I can still do it. This is what I love about. I just watched this movie called Naiad, about this wonderful lady, and she swam from all the way from Cuba to the Keys in Florida. That is 60 hours nonstop swimming. On the fifth try, she finally did it. And when she got to Florida, to the Keys, she got out of the water, and they were like, don't touch her. She's gonna get disqualified after 60 hours of swimming nonstop. I mean, she, eat in the water. She would never step on the boat. The boat was with her, but she wasn't in like a harness or anything. It's just insane. You have to watch the movie. It's nominated for Best Actress. Both Jodie Foster and Annette Bening. But what she said is, you're never too old. You're never too old to fulfill your dreams. So if I say right now, I wish I had the chance to learn one of these instruments and play this live, I can still do it, And I read music. I have been playing music almost for half of my life now. So yeah, I mean, but it's like, to get a seat, maybe with a little like quartet. If I, would learn the instruments. But I love the also the wind section so much, the horn section in the orchestra, the strings, of course, but anything sounds so amazingly well. So, but yeah, now let's see what these three geniuses are gonna do. Emerson, Lake, and Powell. Here we go. I love how Greg Lake is playing the drums like dun, 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 like the strings, but it's he plays, I guess, with the bass drum, and he achieved that sound. And I love like Keith Emerson is like keeping up with sounding like an orchestra. He's so good. He's so talented. I know there must be a couple of layers on here, of sound, but wonderful. It just sounds exactly the same. I mean, you know, it's so close. I mean, you'd notice it's not an orchestra, but for three people to pull this off, it's very good. Wow. Now I never doubted it, you know. I never doubted it was gonna be this good. I mean pretty much everything like Emerson, Keith Emerson, you know, touches turns to gold. ELP is just both I mean Emerson, Lake and Palmer, of course. Emerson, Lake and Powell is just one record, you know, but just ELP, those guys are just on a different level. I think they're in my top, you know, 3 progressive bands of the 70s, I would say. It's always like, you know, it's always Genesis, yes, ELP, you know, Kansas, Gentle Giant, but there's, you know, there's so many good ones, but I think ELP is in the top 3. They just are. Okay, so now Isao Tomita, I know him because my mom had a CD, and I just saw it here. Snowflakes Are Dancing. That is my introduction. That was my introduction to him. This is so just really quickly. The first piece was recorded in 1981 with the, you know, Herbert von Karajan Berliner Philharmonica in Germany, and then Emerson, Lake and Powell recorded this piece in 1986. Now this one is 1976. It's called Just Mars, the song, and the album is also The Planet's Ultimate Edition in 2007. In 2011 the Ultimate Edition came out, but usually normally this came out in 1976. So I guess he did, you know, the whole thing. So here we go with the Isao Tomita, Japanese. I mean, I also know Kitaro. That's also another one. I had like this phase that I went through where I was only listening to that kind of music, Kitaro, and then this Isao Tomita, and what was the other one? Give me a second. What's his name? I just love his. Oh, Mike Oldfield, and then that French guy who did the sounds underwater. What is it called? It's just amazing. Sounds. Let's see. It's just a famous composer. I'm sure you know who I'm talking about. A French guy, wonderful composer as well. Just, you know, music like that, craft work. I was just into all kinds of like 70s synth, you know. And then I I left. So here it goes, Mars. Again, this one is the longest one. Enjoy. Let's see what he does. Like, it's like a Morse code. So good. I wish I was high. What a great intro. Wow. I'm just blown away like by this. I mean, Isao Tomita is taking it a little bit, further with the whole chatter and the Morse code and the whole, we've made contact kind of thing. I love it. It's so, I mean, I can't really decide. I mean, all three of them sound so amazingly good, I mean, we're not done yet, but of course the original is the original, but I mean, Emerson, like, and Powell did a fantastic job to, just to play this, on modern instruments is just a challenge, but not to play this by himself completely is just mind-boggling. And I love that he kind of like takes it to the next level with kind of like, and then also this whole wow, you know, like he just makes it a little bit trippier. But I can't decide which I like more. I'm in love with all three of them. I would listen to this on literally like just repeat, you know, all three of them. I would never be like, it would never be enough. I mean, I could put this on all day and be not bored because I would just learning something. You know, these chord progressions are just insane, and just the whole thing is just so powerful. It's beautiful. Wow. I feel like I'm a Nostromo. So good. I love the sound effects. Wonderful. I was just like literally like, okay, I was literally like so freaking like immersed that I was looking at like spaceships like from the alien universe, you know, the not Nostromo. I said Nostromo. Nostromo. I love, you know, Alien. I love that, you know, universe. The sounds at the beginning of the movie, it are like a little bit of the like the sounds that we heard here, like the just Ridley Scott had such a, I don't know if it was Ben Bird who helped him with that, like the guy from Star Wars, but who knows. But I'm just a fan of science fiction, and I'm just fascinated by, especially the movies in the 70s, you know, that came out. Like, I mean, obviously, the old Star Trek show and Star Wars and Alien and Blade Runner and the whole, like, Terminator. And it was the best. I mean, that's when it looked kind of like the coolest, obviously, space. 2001 A Space Odyssey. Oh my god, that movie. So good. It's just like, yeah, it's like unfortunately today it doesn't just quite look the same, you know. CGI is pretty good, but um it's not the same, you know. I just love that model, love those models that they used to build, you know, and it just looks, I guess, a bit more real. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but I just love old school science fiction, you know, like Dark Star and that show 1999. It's just like, oh my god. But well, this was wonderful. Thank you again so much, Great Scott. This was a wonderful marathon. I had so much fun. Like I said, I wish I would have been high or stoned or something to enjoy it, but more. But don't worry, you know, I can enjoy music pretty well without any kind of drugs. But it would have been like, I guess I would have been tripping here. This was so good. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoy. I know it's the same song and 3 different variations, but I hope you had a good time. I'm sure if you like classical music or sci-fi, or I'm sure you're gonna listen to this in a whole as a whole. Thank you so much, Great Scott, for this wonderful marathon. This was just wonderful to listen to. Thank you. I hope we can do something like this again. This is like amazing, like, you know, to do this. And I'm speechless, you know. I think this last one was just what blew me away a little bit, like more than the other two, but I can't say it was better. It was just different. I think all 3 of them are perfect in their different versions, you know. I think it's just the same masterpiece, but a little bit different. I can't say I liked one better than the other. They were all perfect. So I'll leave you with that. Thank you so much. Let me know what you think. Do you have a favorite? Do you think that all 3, like me, you know, all 3 of them are perfect? Let me know. And let me know if you would like to listen to classical music with Nick again. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next one.